Day for Earthlings. So for a grand video today, we're going to discuss about a grand theory that once revolutionized the whole world and changed the people's views about our Mother Earth. So, I have a question for you all. Have you ever wondered how the continents here today were formed? Have you ever think that the continents here are still the same since the beginning of time? Well, our theory we're about to discuss today is gonna answer all of the questions about that is towering in your head. So, come on, explore with us.
What is the continental drift theory? Well, the continental drift theory is the hypothesis that the Earth's continents have moved over geologic time relative to each other, thus appearing to have drifted across the ocean bed. The idea of the continental drift theory has been subsumed into the science of plate tectonics, which studies the movement of the continents as they ride on Earth's lithosphere. Now, you might have wondered, who is the scientist behind this brilliant theory?
Well, actually, there are many scientists who work to form and prove this theory. The speculation that continents might have drifted was first put forward by Abraham Ortelius in 1596. Pioneer of the modern view of mobilism was the Austrian geologist Otto Amphier. The concept was independently and more fully developed by Alfred Wegener in 1912, but the hypothesis was rejected by many of lack of any motive mechanism.
After years of dedicated research, the scientists were able to find evidences that can support the continental drift theory.
First evidence of the continental drift theory is called the continental jigsaw puzzle. Wegener came up with this idea because he noticed that the crust of the Western Africa and Eastern South America looked like puzzle pieces. He wondered if they might have once fit together and then drifted apart. Looking at the continents, he theorized that they had once been joined together as a supercontinent around 225 million years ago. This continent was later named Pangaea.
Did you know the name Pangaea comes from the ancient Greek word pan, meaning entire, and Gaia, meaning earth. The word literally means all of earth. People now think that other supercontinents may also have existed. These supercontinents are thought to have come before Pangaea.
The second evidence that strongly supported the continental drift theory was found from fossils. Ever wonder what are fossils? Fossils are preserved remains of traces of organisms, whether plant or animal, from the remote past.
Fossils actually form when an animal dies and is buried by sediment. The sediment surrounding the skeleton thickens and begins to turn to stone. Then the skeleton dissolves and a mold is formed. Then minerals crystallize inside the mold and a cast is formed. Finally, the fossil is exposed on the earth.
Scientists have found fossils of similar types of plants and animals in rocks of similar age. These rocks were on the source of different continents. This suggests that the continents were once joined. For example, fossils of Mesosaurus, a freshwater reptile, have been found both in Brazil and Western Africa. The land reptile, Listosaurus, have been found in Africa, India, and Antarctica.
Oh, there's a rock. Not that kind of rock. Speaking of rock, Wegener specifically used rock composition and mountain ridges to provide evidence of continental drift. He provided evidence that mountain ridges occurring on opposite continents match up pretty well then brought together. This perfect aligning of mountain ranges indicated that the continents were once together. Example, if you take the mountain ranges of North America and Europe, they align perfectly well. Mountains are typically formed when two opposite land masses collide with each other, triggering the rock pound at the point of collision to fold or bulge upwards.
In terms of rock composition, at location where continents match up. The kinds of rocks on the opposite sides of the continents were of the same kind. These match-up points consisted of the same kind of rock, further proves that the continents were once together before breaking away and drifting.
The fourth evidence is from coal deposits. First off, what is coal? Coal is a sedimentary deposit composed predominantly of a carbon that is readily combustible.
Oh, talk about coals? Oh man, I love coals. I love coals. I'm a coal enthusiast. I have all types of coals from coals to coals to coals. I put coals in my bedroom just so I can sleep. So, guys, let me tell you how coals are formed. Guys, coal takes millions of years to form. Coal contains the energy stored by plants that lived hundreds of million years ago in swampy forests. Layers of dirt and rock cover the plants over millions of years. The resulting pressure and heat turn the plants into the substance we now call coal. So, more facts about coal. You know, coal seems used to be found in Antarctica. That's so weird. Coal is produced from organic matter like dead plants and animals. In a very cold place like Antarctica, it would be impossible for most organisms to survive. The presence of coal indicates that the continent was once inhabited by many organisms. It is also gives a clue that Antarctica was once located near the equator where abundant animal and plant organisms could be found.
But not the least, the evidences of the continental drift theory was the evidences from glacial features. One of the clues he used was the glacier. Wegener, in his expedition, discovered glacier grooves in all the continents. Glacier grooves are the gaping trenches or landmarks carved out by movement of glacier. He discovered glacier grooves in continents that were not cold enough to support snow formation in the present day.
Yates, which are deposits of rock debris left by glaciers, were found in Africa, South America, India, and Australia. Put these continents together, the glacier grooves perfectly match up. This suggested that these continents were once together and drifted away over time.
They were of the same age and type. The presence of the tiliates indicates that those places had glaciers in the past, were once located near the South Pole and had drifted away from each other.
Continental drift describes one of the earliest ways geologists through continents move over time. Today, the theory of continental drift has been replaced by the science of plate tectonics. Despite Wegener's effort to try to prove his theory of continental drift, it was never accepted. When he tasked with probing how these continents moved to different places, he couldn't. Alfred Wegener produced an evidence in 1912 that the continents are in motion, but because he could not explain what forces could move them, geologists rejected his ideas. But almost 50 years later, Harry Hess confirmed Wegener's ideas by using the evidence of seafloor spreading to explain the moving continents. However, this theory of continental drift came to be accepted in the 90s after his death. He died of an alleged heart attack when on an expedition to Greenland. So, that's it for our video today about that grand theory. Though its idea was replaced by a better one, at least it changed people's view about the world even if it's just for a little time. Maybe some of you watching here will be able to discover an even better theory. Just maybe. Only the future knows. So that's it, fellow Earthlings. Thank you for tuning in with us. See you guys next time. Or not.